Hi, my name is Skylar McKay, and today I want to discuss buying motive. So many sales reps have a hard time closing deals because they pay too much attention to explaining what they feel is important about their products and services instead of focusing on what is actually important to the client. So I want to explain the importance of buying motive and how important it is to uncover the actual pain that they're dealing with, to paint the end result of how great it is going to be after the fact that they purchase your product or solution. There's a huge thing with perceived value when it comes to offer frameworks. It's very important that you need the client to see that the perceived value needs to be 10 times greater than the cost of your solution. So I want to discuss actually uncovering specific pain points throughout the sales process. So since it's very important to understand buying motive because you can emotionally tie the customer into the sale, and you can actually leverage that to boost the value of your actual offer. So ways, and it really just boils down to what kind of market that you're focused in. Let's say if you worked in marketing, for example, right? You want to understand what they've been currently doing with their marketing. How has that been working for them? You want to uncover where their business is at with that, what kind of problems are they dealing with at the moment, and you might even want to pry at that problem. So for example, customer XYZ is dealing with a specific problem. Okay, if that specific problem continues to persist, what is going to happen as the end result, right? So you're kind of prying at that problem to bring in the reality for the customer and emotionally tie them into that problem. And then you want to paint the picture of what your product or service is actually going to do to solve that problem. That is true solution selling. So buying motive is huge. You need to uncover the customer's problem. Stop paying so much attention to what your products and services do and what you feel is important, and really harness the power of uncovering that pain, tying that pain in, and really painting the picture of how great it's going to be after the fact they purchase your product or your solution. So I think that's very, very important. Another really cool trick is tie down. So if you have a hard time keeping the customer engaged throughout the sales cycle, a real easy way to gauge their interest and keep them into the conversation and really feel them out is using tie downs. And tie downs is a way where basically you're asking for an agreement after you state it. So you're basically segmenting the conversation and structuring it. So for example, after you give a positioning statement, you're asking the class, you're telling the client something specific, right? So this is exactly what my product and services is going to do for you. Does that make sense, right? So does that make sense is actually a tie down, right? You're waiting for a response from them, so you say silent and they say yes. So now you understand that they're in tune with the conversation. So you go on to the next topic. Okay, Mr. Customer, so this is going to do that. Does that make sense? Or you can even use some other terminology. Whatever it is, it helps kind of gauge where they are in the conversation, and you can listen to certain changes in tone in their voice to kind of gauge their interest levels, right? That is huge. So I just want to kind of give you some tidbits on that. Now, I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to do a quick video and just kind of stress the importance of, understanding the buying motive and using certain tie downs to kind of lock them into the sequence of the conversation and gauging really how truly interested they are. So I hope this was helpful, and have a great day.